recording. This is a scroll saw. It has an electric motor. The electric motor turns and drives this blade up and down. It only cuts on the downward stroke. Might be better if I stood this side. So it only cuts on the downward stroke, not the upward stroke. There is a foot here that does two jobs. The safe job is the little guard on the front, so when your hand slips it won't go through the guard and you won't lose your finger. Okay? Because that hurts when you lose a finger. Yeah. And yours won't grow back. So, the second job it does is it goes up and down to provide a gap for your piece of wood to go through. So, first job on this machine, before you've even turned it on, is to adjust that so it's nearly resting on your piece of wood. Can you hear that vibrating a little bit? If I didn't have that foot there, then your piece of wood would get dragged up and down by the blade, and instead of being able to cut it nicely, you'd be sitting there going while the wood flaps up and down, and because you're not in control, there's more chance of you cutting something badly, either your work or you. Okay? There are 5 rules on the sign that's at the back, but really it's thinking it through. The black tube goes off to a socket at the back, and when I turn that on, the socket goes red. That means this machine is now live. If I want to use this machine, I can now. You might notice there's also a plastic tube that comes off the machine. I said we don't want the dust, so under here is the extractor, and there is a green button that will turn the extractor on to suck the dust away. When you lot are working at these machines, if we get to do that, then I will have the machine turned on. For the little demonstration I'm going to do, I might not turn this on because it makes a lot of noise. There are 2 machines identical. They work in exactly the same way. One is slightly older than the other. On the front of them is a big red button. Red means stop, and it is a big red button, so it's the only one you can hit in a hurry to make the machine stop. Underneath there is a green button and a red button. Green for red for, and you can see the blade going up and down. It goes up and down very fast, so this part of the machine. So, don't get your hands on this bit, it vibrates around. This grey bit doesn't move, the blue bit does move, and there is a chance of getting your fingers caught in there, and that will hurt. When you use it, I am happy for you to sit at here and use it. But if I do that, while you can see my picture on there, you can't see what I'm doing. So quite often when I'm demonstrating, I sit on the bench, and that is a big no-no. That's when a teacher says, do as I say, not as I do. Okay? Your hands are always either side of the wood, never in the middle, because otherwise, even though the guard's there, it might not went well. And you steer the wood. The machine stays still, you steer the wood. You don't push too hard. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the blade bending a little bit? Yeah. And if you push too hard, what will happen? It'll snap. If you push too hard, you lose control over what you're doing. I don't have a design on my piece, so I'm just going to cut a little piece out of the corner to show you. Because it creates dust, I want my goggles on. If it was normal, you using it, I'd turn the extractor on to get rid of the dust, but it's just me doing a little bit, and you need to be able to focus on it. So if you're sat there, there is a meter exclusion zone around here that nobody comes closer to. There. So, plenty of room. I've got my apron in, so there's nothing loose that can get caught in it. I've got my goggles on, so I'm not going to get dust into my eyes. I would be sat down here concentrating on it. I am not blowing the dust away, because when I blow out, I end up breathing in, and I'll just breathe back in that dust. I can turn the blade on with the green button, and then slowly, you can hear it flapping, and if I want to go around a curve, I can turn it. When I turn it, I don't stop the blade. I just push it. Maybe you get a better view if I sit here and you can just watch on the telly. When I'm finished, I stop. Can you see I've cut a squiggly little line that comes off? Okay, so I want to be left with the big piece as my shape. I don't want lots of little pieces.